Sigma. My name is Daryl Whiteley. I'm recently retired, or in the last 2 years, retired from doing Lean Six Sigma for a variety of businesses, mostly Dow Corning and Dow Chemical, and then a stint at a consulting firm doing Lean Six Sigma for about 5 years. I don't do much anymore, not looking for business, but thought it might be nice to share stories of my journey in Lean Six Sigma. So why Lean Six Sigma? Well, one, the methodology works. Now, it can be misapplied, and often is, but if it's applied correctly, it works because it's common sense. There's nothing special about it. The tools are not new. They're just packaged together in a methodology to allow businesses to seek after high priority problems, to fix those problems permanently, and then move on to the next problem without just jumping to solutions and expecting everything to work by doing the same thing. Also, I mentioned the tools. The tools work. The tools, again, are not new, but the toolkit within Lean Six Sigma works, and so it's advantageous to us to learn some of those tools, and we can apply them to everyday problems, whether it's a business problem we need to solve or it's a personal problem that needs working on. And it can be applied everywhere. It doesn't just have to be applied at work. It can be applied in civic organizations. It can be applied at home. So let's give you an example. I recently retired 2 years ago, about 2 years ago, and I had picked up a lot of weight in my journeys through life and the stress of a career. And I was over 30 pounds overweight, and I decided I'd lose that weight by playing golf. I had played golf before, but not a lot. And I lost about 30 pounds by playing 36 holes or walking 36 holes of golf per week, along with playing a par 3 and walking that par 3 golf course, and lost about 30 pounds. But my knees started to ache. I've had 3 knee operations for a variety of causes, mostly basketball. One was softball. I was very athletic as a young person, and those 3 arthroscopies were taking their toll on me. And again, you watch YouTube and you learn that at some point the arthritis is going to be so severe that you're going to need knee replacements. So I was playing one of my rounds. Again, I had lost about 30 pounds. Was shooting the round of my career, coming to the 16th hole at Woodhaven, which is a par 3 downhill, 130 yards. The pin on the right with a big sand trap, and left is just jail. And I hit one in the sand, played a fairly decent sand shot, rolled it to within 4 feet, so I was going to save par. As I was raking the trap, I had to step up to get out, and I buckled over. My phone was in my bag boy, so I couldn't get to it, and I thought I was going to be there until somebody found me. It was early in the morning. It was probably 9 o'clock, so I was the first one out. So it'd be a while before anyone caught up to me. I thought somebody was going to find me there, wallowing around. And what seemed like 15 minutes, probably only 2 or 3, the throbbing stopped. I was able to crawl up because there was a hill close by. Walked myself up, went and decided not to get my phone, just gonna walk it on in as best I could, and I stumbled in about midway through the 17th fairway. Of course, I remembered I didn't get my ball, but that was neither here nor there. I wasn't going to finish the 18 holes anyway. And so I made an appointment with my practitioner, who said, let's go get some knee operations and get you to an orthopedic surgeon. And of course, this all takes time to do, and I picked up about 10 pounds in a matter of 2 months, getting to the doctors, because I just couldn't walk anymore. If I was going to play, it was going to be riding, and I really couldn't play because I couldn't really twist my knees all that much. And so I was resigned to the fact that I was going to have a double knee replacement, which was not fun to look forward to, but I wanted to get it done. I was tired of waiting. My knees had been bothering me for a while, and I was stumbling through. I needed to get them replaced, or at least so I thought. So I go get the x-rays done, and there's a big list of problems with my knees. Our osteoarthritis is evident, cartilage wear is evident, obviously, and a severe joint space narrowing on the left knee. And then on the right knee diagnosis, it said C left knee. So both of my knees were in bad shape as I go to see the orthopedic surgeon. The orthopedic surgeon looks at me. We're about the same age. Come to find out, he went to a high school that was close to where I lived, a private school. I knew a lot of the guys that went there. We had a lot of the same friends, so it was good to talk to this man. And he was not as aggressive in wanting to change my knees. Now, there's another part of the story. I'm a type 1 diabetic. He said these knees usually need to be replaced again in 15 years. That would put you, I'm 55, or at the time was 55. That'll put you about 70. And he didn't say it quite like this, but essentially you won't recover from the second surgery. So let's wait until you're about 60. I'll give you a couple cortisone shots, and then I'll get you to a physical therapist. My mood just fell. I don't want to wait 5 years. I can't walk. This is painful. Yada, yada, yada. But my wife was with me. Good for me. And she said, well, let's just do what the doctor says. Bah, humbug, right? And so I get the shots in the knees, which were not pleasant, and then got the appointment with the physical therapist. Now, the physical therapist, again, perky, young person, will get you fixed right up, etc., etc., gets me in. Come to find out, she asked me where I work. Said I'm retired chemical engineer, Dow Chemical. She goes, oh, my mom's a chemical engineer. It turns out we probably crossed each other's paths in college. She was a grade above or below me, which means we weren't in the same classes and co-op, etc. We probably just missed each other. And so she took that and said, well, let's see what we can do here. So they did the strength tests and whatnot. Had no problem with strengths. She told me that she wanted me to straighten out one of my legs. And I did. And she goes, no, I mean straighten it. I did. She goes, well, I think here's the problem. I think we can help you and get you to a point where maybe you can walk a little bit better. And so she set a series of exercises, stretching exercises, to stretch out the muscles that are contracting my knees, i.e. the joint space narrowing, and relax that a bit so that my joint space would get wider and I'd have less pain. And she explained it in such a way that made sense. I mean, it was a Y is equal to this. Your knees are compressed together because you're tighter than a drum. We need to work on that. So after about 3 weeks of working on that, doing those stretches daily, she released me to go play golf. Not walk 18 though. She said I could walk the 9-hole course, which is about a mile when I play 4 balls. And you can do that, but I want you to ride. And I do want you playing golf, and I'd like you to get a recumbent bike to do that. I have lost those 10 pounds back in a period of about 3 months by solving one of the true root causes instead of jumping to the solution of getting the knee replaced, which would have worked, but it wouldn't have given me the flexibility nor the ability to play basketball again. I mean, I'm not going to do that, but knee replacements aren't the end all of everything, regardless of what YouTube says. I think I appreciated the doctor's honesty on that. It's not going to fix everything. You're not going to be dunking a basketball. They're not your knees. You need to keep your knees as long as possible. And so instead of jumping to the solution, I followed the advice of the physical therapist, lost the 10 pounds back, playing the best golf of my life, I think, because I can twist my knees a little bit better, because the joint space narrowing has been taken care of. Now that's applying Lean Six Sigma. I didn't apply it at the beginning, but I used the tools, the thinking through the problem, finding the exact root cause, and solving that instead of jumping to something that was going to be expensive. So we're going to start our journey, and we're going to start with the 5 phases of Lean Six Sigma. Actually, we're going to go a little bit farther back to do some of the strategy. And then we'll work through this. I don't know how many weeks this will take. I mean, we teach classes in about 160 hours, but those have exercises. We're not going to do exercises. But I want to get you through what Lean Six Sigma is. If you like this video, please consider subscribing and hit the like button. And then we'll see you next week.